Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are fine by the grace of Allah. Today we are going to read a chapter which is from term 2 and lesson number 2. It's a reading chapter Rice Bowl Wishes, which is at page number 109 till 116. It's a reading chapter, students. We just have to read to enhance our reading skills. So let's start reading this chapter. We don't have to do any exercise of this chapter. So let's start reading this chapter. At page number 109, students, we have a chapter Rice Bowl Wishes. An old lady by the name of Ni Yo had adopted 3 11-year-old boys from an orphanage. Their names were Landua, Swajo, and Gosar. Lady Neo dressed Landua and Swajo in fine clothes, and she sent them to school to get a proper education. Gosar, who was blind, was treated like a servant. He was dressed in old, ragged clothes and fed leftover food. He was required to attend the old lady's needs and not sent to school. One night, while everyone was asleep, a fire broke out in the rice storage room. It soon spread to the main house. Gosar yelled, warning everyone. The moment he sensed the heat from the fire, Landua and Swajo, awakened by the call, got up and rushed out the house. Gosar knew Lady Neo had difficulty moving about on her own. He hurried to help her. The fire was now circling round them. Quick, Lady Neo, let your eyes be my guide. With Gosar carrying Lady Neo and Lady Neo giving directions, they were soon out of danger. You risked your life to save mine. You are a brave and unselfish boy. Gosar, I have finally found a worthy recipient for the rice bowl. I can rest in peace now, the old lady said. Then she handed a rice bowl to Gosar. The rice bowl can grant wishes. You may make 1 wish every year, 2 every other year, or 3 every 3 years. Should the rice bowl be broken, all that it has granted will be lost. Take care of it, wish wisely. Then she took her last breath and shut her eyes forever. Landua and Swajo left Gosar to bury the old lady by himself. Before he buried her, Gosar said sadly, I wish I could see, then I would have a memory of her. No sooner had he finished wishing when Gosar's wish came true. His eyes opened and he could see. He was overjoyed. He enrolled himself in a school, got a job at a local store, and started to rebuild the house. The intense heat and fumes from the fire must have opened his eyes. The people in the village speculated. Landua and Swajo, on the other hand, did not accept such an explanation. They went to ask Gosar. When he told them about the rice bowl, they insisted that he share the rice bowl with them. Gosar gladly agreed, and he gave them the same advice the old lady had given him. What are your wishes? Gosar asked. A house with plenty of food to eat at all times, Landua answered. It would be nice if we could get high grades in school without studying hard, Swajo added. Just as they had wished, there a house stood right across the old lady's that had just burned down. In it was plenty of food to be found in the storage room and on the dining table. Landua and Swajo each picked up a pear to eat. Instantly, two more pears appeared to replace the ones they had eaten. They then found themselves able to solve complicated multiplication and division problems without taking a lesson. This is just what we want. We don't ever have to go to school or work or be hungry ever. And that was exactly what they did. They were happy to be sitting around, eating, playing, and resting their lazy bodies day after day. Page number 112, students. Gosar was also happy, for he was doing what he loved most, learning. He read and studied all he could. 3 years flashed by. It was time for the boys, now 14 years old, to each make his second wish. What do you wish for? Gosar asked. A house of my own by the river with a chest full of gold. Landu answers. This is the rice bowl granted. I wish also for a house of my own, only larger than. Landu asks. Instead of by the river, it shall be on the top of the hill, and 2 chests full of gold. Swajo expressed his wish. This the rice bowl granted. I would like to have a library full of books, many books enough to keep me busy for the next 3 years, said Gosar, smiling. This the rice bowl granted. Landua and Swajo laughed. Books, you cannot eat them or buy any fancy things with them. Books are but volumes of dull words, they remarked. Gosar went on to spend the next 3 years reading while still attending school and working at the local store. Landua and Swajo went to live in their own houses with chests full of gold. They spent the next 3 years playing, eating, and resting their lazy bodies. It was then time for the boys, now 17 years old, to make their third wishes. Landua and Swajo promptly arrived at Gosar's door. Landua greedily requested, I want a mansion to replace the house I have. The following must come with it: 1 room full of gold, a beautiful and well-behaved wife who will bear me many healthy and strong sons, and a title for me. I wish to be the most successful and the smarter governor this village has ever known. Swajo greedily requested, I also want a mansion to replace my old house. The following must come with it: 2 rooms full of gold and a wife more beautiful and better behaved than Landua's, who shall bear me many healthy and strong sons. I wish to be the most successful and the smartest merchant this village has ever known. And for you, Gosar, they asked. I would like to have more books, Gosar answered without hesitation. Landua and Swajo laughed, shook their heads, and said, Will you ever learn to be smart? The rice bowl granted all 3 wishes. Landua and Swajo were pleased with their new life arrangements. As for Gosar, he continued to read, study, and work as hard as he had done before. On his 20th birthday, he acquired a job as a teacher. He also, at page number 114, we are reading, married the daughter of a store owner. It was time for the young man to make their 4th wishes. By this time, Landua and Swajo each had 2 sons. Wish wisely, advised Gosar. I wish to keep the rice bowl to myself. It shall grace wishes only to me, Landua said hurriedly. No, it shall grant wishes only to me, Swajo shouted, and he reached out to grab the bowl. I wished for it first, Landua argued, struggling with Swajo fighting for the rice bowl. Clink! The rice bowl fell to the floor where it shattered into many pieces. "What have you done?" Gosar yelled. Then he cried out, I cannot see, I cannot see." The rice bowl had taken Gosar's eyesight away as quickly as it had granted it to him 9 years ago. All the books vanished as well. Landua and Swajo rushed off to check on their own possessions, but they found only weeds and wild flowers where their mansions had been. Their wives and children were also nowhere to be seen. There was not one piece of gold left anywhere. The real nightmare came when Landua and Swajo discovered that they had lost their positions. Instead of the well-known and successful governor and merchant, they were nobody. In fact, they were no longer able to read or write or do simple arithmetic. When Landua and Swajo heard that Gosar had managed to keep his teaching job, they went to see him. "How is it that you have lost your eyesight and all the books, but—" We are at page number 116, students. "You are still able to read and write?" questioned Landua. "And you haven't lost your wife?" Swajo puzzled. "My eyesight was granted by the rice bowl, thus it's to claim. However, what I have seen with my eyes, it can never deprive me of. The books were given to me by the rice bowl, so they were its to take away. But what I have read and learned is mine to keep. The knowledge I have acquired, the rice bowl has no power to claim. The same goes for my wife. I did not ask the rice bowl for her. She is every bit as real as you and I." Landua and Swajo learned of their stupidity and selfishness. They were very sorry and ashamed. They became the oldest students in the school, but they were the most dedicated. They had learned that life was what they had chose to make of it. They no longer wished to waste another precious moment. Master Gosar was recognized as one of the wisest and the most caring teachers ever to teach in China. There on his desk always sat an ordinary rice bowl, which obviously had been glued back together from many broken pieces. A story from China by Bernadette and Dr. Donald. Students, you have to practice reading at your homes to enhance your reading skills. Take care. Allah Hafiz.